Tesla has dragged the legacy automakers into the electric vehicle market.
Yeah.
Do companies like Ford, GM, Rivian, Lucid pose a threat to Tesla's dominance?
In this video, Elon Musk has been named Time Magazine Person of the Year, and Tesla stock has been absolutely crushed. Both major causes for celebration. So let's get into the video. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. First things first, Tesla stock getting absolutely wrecked once again. Pretty high chance, but not a certainty that Elon Musk continued selling more Tesla stock today. We'll find out soon. When the market opened today, Tesla stock immediately falling off a cliff, finishing down $50.62 for the day, or 4.98%. And as I said, this is fantastic news. I managed to buy more Tesla stock today. By the way, special shout out to my accountant. We recently had a discussion, moved a few things around, and I've freed up a little bit more capital to buy the dip. I picked up another 100 shares at $969.69, because why not? For those interested, here's an update of my current stock portfolio. Still all in on Tesla stock. Currently own a little over 6,000 shares. First bought early 2016. Average buy price, including fees, $183.68. Interestingly, the total return on my Tesla purchases, which is the average on every share I've purchased over the last 5 or so years, a little over 420%, and I've now held Tesla stock from my initial purchase for exactly 69 months. Did anyone watching buy Tesla stock today? Let me know in the comments below. I continue to see people asking in the comments on these videos, Stephen, why don't you diversify? Why don't you buy other stocks? What's the next Tesla? Blah, fucking blah, blah, blah. The truth is, Tesla is the next Tesla. If you haven't already seen my price targets available exclusively on Patreon, sign up with the card in the corner or using the link in the pinned comment. I really believe in these price targets. I'm not pulling them out of my ass. This is why I'm still pouring every spare cent into Tesla stock. Elon Musk's prolonged selling of Tesla stock is a massive gift to investors, in my opinion. As I've said before, in 2031, today's prices are going to look like the bargain of the century, so don't say I didn't warn you. And now, onto the big news of today. Elon Musk has been named Time Person of the Year, and the woke mob are losing their minds. I'm just kidding. They never had their minds in the first place. Get wrecked.
You know, it's really hard to escape Elon Musk's dominance over so many things in American life right now. He's got this rocket company that is completely dominating the space launch business. He's got a car company that is completely dominating the electric vehicle market. He's got 65 million Twitter followers, and he likes to make weird jokes and set people off. And sometimes with a single tweet, he can control the stock market or the value of various different cryptocurrencies. So this is a man who's just sort of become ever present across a lot of different sectors. And this was really the year that he came into his own.
His goal is to make humanity a multi-planet species, and at a time in which NASA has abdicated its operations to put people in low Earth orbit, and for the time being at least, put people on other worlds, SpaceX has stepped in like no other private company before it around the world.
So, Elon Musk's wealth is largely tied up in Tesla stock. He is not only the CEO, he is its largest shareholder. And Tesla is one of the most valuable companies in the country. Its market value is more than $1 trillion. And his wealth is sort of tied up in that company.
Tesla has dragged the legacy automakers into the electric vehicle market.
Yeah.
Do companies like Ford, GM, Rivian, Lucid pose a threat to Tesla's dominance, or do you think you guys have so grasped the market at this point that you are going to own it?
Well, if somebody makes better cars than we do, then and they then sell more cars than we do, I think that's totally fine.
Elon Musk very measured in his response here, probably not wanting to stir up too much controversy, making reasonable statements. Is anybody going to make a better electric vehicle than Tesla? Hell fucking no. Their lead is unassailable. Is anybody going to sell more electric vehicles than Tesla? Also, a gigantic no. If you read between the lines, what it would take for these companies to compete with Tesla would be to simply out-Tesla Tesla for years. In fact, the better part of a decade. We all know this isn't going to happen. In fact, as I've said, most legacy automotive manufacturers will go bankrupt. So will most EV startups, to be honest. Tesla's lead is literally unassailable.
Our intent with Tesla was always that we would serve as an example to the car industry, and that and hope that they also make electric cars so that we can accelerate the transition to sustainable energy. I'm confident in the future in Tesla that it will do well, and I hope some of these other companies do well too.
Of course, this wouldn't be a mainstream publication without a healthy dose of FUD, so brace for impact.
Earlier this year, this Tesla crashed into a highway divider in California, killing the driver. Another slammed into a parked fire truck in Utah. Both had the autopilot feature on.
There is a federal investigation underway into the autopilot software that Tesla has, which, despite the name, is not autopilot software.
Now, don't take this personally, Molly, but say something dumb, get roasted. Allow me to define autopilot. Here we are on Wikipedia. Autopilot. An autopilot is a system used to control the path of an aircraft, marine craft, or spacecraft without requiring constant manual control by a human operator. Autopilots do not replace human operators. Instead, the autopilot assists the operator's controls of the vehicle, allowing the operator to focus on broader aspects of operations. And how does Tesla define autopilot? Autopilot advanced safety and convenience features are designed to assist you with the most burdensome parts of driving. Autopilot enables your car to steer, accelerate, and brake automatically within its lane. Current autopilot features require active driver supervision and do not make the vehicle autonomous. So Molly, if you're going to nitpick about the name autopilot, probably best to actually look at the definition of what autopilot is before making such moronic comments, lest you be roasted.
It does not drive the car for you. And people inside Tesla have expressed a lot of skepticism about whether the company's technology is eventually going to be able to get there.
Are the cars safe? I mean, should I feel comfortable getting behind the wheel of a Tesla and saying, drive me where I need to go?
Well, the statistics that I think are at this point unequivocal that far more accidents off autopilot than on autopilot. So this is not to say that autopilot is perfect. Now to get to full self-driving where you don't need to pay attention, we still obviously have a lot of work to do. So as we get to the point where interventions are extremely rare, even in complex traffic situations, and get to the point where the probability of injury with full self-driving is much lower than with a human driving, then obviously at that point it would make sense to allow the car to drive itself and not have to pay attention.
So this year, Elon Musk became the world's richest man ever. So we asked him about another pressing global problem, and that is income and wealth inequality.
When it's time to pay taxes, new reporting from ProPublica says the nation's top 25 richest people pay little to nothing at all, including Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk.
One of the main criticisms of him is just that he's so rich. Should any human being be worth $300 billion?
A lot of the push for higher government involvement and expropriation of assets by the government is really pushed by a bunch of politicians who are actually saying that resources shouldn't be in control of people, of private individuals. They should be in control of the government. They're basically saying they want control of the assets. I mean, I think in terms of things that people should perhaps get upset about is I think getting upset about excess consumption is a thing to get upset about, but somebody's just wasting money on personal luxuries in a crazy way.
Elon has a very reasonable point here.
I'm not Warren Buffett's biggest fan, frankly, but he sits there and he reads all these annual reports, which are super boring. Does anybody want that job? I think most people do not. I don't want that job. But he's not engaged in insane conspicuous consumption. So you have to say okay, sure, he's got a high net worth, but he's doing a useful job for the economy, and he's very skilled at it and should probably keep doing it.
You can learn a lot about somebody's mindset and or their intellect depending on how they feel about high income and high net worth individuals. Somebody whose brain functions at an adequate level will understand that practically every billionaire, ultra high net worth individual on earth has created enormous amounts of value in the economy. They've employed tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people. They've created opportunities and made life better for hundreds of thousands, millions, even billions of people. This is a reasonable thing to say, right? Unfortunately, there's a very vocal minority of people out there who are literally too dumb to grasp this simple fact. The other element here, of course, is mindset. There's some people who just cannot stand to see somebody doing better than they do. These people generally hate themselves, they often suffer from depression. When they see somebody who's worked hard, made a positive impact on the world, built something substantial, taken risks, and benefited financially as a result, it's almost like holding up a mirror to this person and showing them what their own life looks like. These people often feel inadequate, undeserving of love, like they're completely useless. To be honest, they often are. And they foolishly believe that tearing others down will make them feel better about themselves. In my opinion, it is a very easy tell. When you hear comments from somebody along the lines of there shouldn't be billionaires, we need to tax the rich more, nobody should earn this kind of income, it's obscene, blah 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 blah, you're hearing from somebody who's either intellectually challenged, and I'm not making light, I'm being very serious here, they just don't understand the dynamics of the market, the economy, how capitalism works, how people are rewarded based on the value they add in the world, and or somebody who simply hates themselves and sees all of their shortcomings and inadequacies every time they look at somebody that's actually taken the risks, done something meaningful, and had a positive impact on the world. If anybody knows of a single exception to this rule, please let me know in the comments below. I've yet to find one. In totally unrelated matters, I want to share with you guys and girls some of the reactions from people on Twitter about Elon Musk being named Time's Person of the Year. Of course, there's been an overwhelming number of positive comments, but unsurprisingly, a lot of self-loathing people projecting their own self-hatred onto Elon as well. How's this? Been critical of the Time selection most years, but this actually makes some sense given the original criteria. It doesn't go to the best person, hence Hitler and Stalin winning. If you want to know why Time went down the crapper many years ago, here's an award they've given to Elon Musk for having the worst ego to accomplishment ratio in the world. Think about what a dark place you need to be in psychologically to be spitting venom at Elon Musk for winning this honor. A guy who has donated hundreds of millions of dollars to incentive prizes for making the world better. A guy who has worked his brains out for the last decade and a half, trying to improve conditions here on Earth and also to help mankind become a multiplanetary species. A guy who the entire automotive industry are now crediting as forcing them to transition to electric vehicles. Keith, if you're watching, I recommend booking more time in with your psychologist. And here's another gem. Time's man/woman/it of the year, look at this virtue signaling right off the bat, has always been meaningless, unbearable editorial hubris. But this year, as lives are lost to pandemic and as democracy is in peril, it is offensive and further evidence that, quote, news judgment is as flawed as objectivity. One final dose of self-hatred being projected outward, somebody so blinded by their own biases that they cannot see Elon Musk for who he really is. This is an absolute doozy. Charlatan of the year, liar of the year. Oh man, I shouldn't laugh. I mean, this person obviously needs help. They're obviously in a bad place, but I mean, really. But person? Come on. Oh, Time, this is embarrassing. You're the husk of the once great institution. If you buy everything Musk says, you obviously do, then you have zero journalistic credibility.
Elon Musk definitely uses Twitter in a way that no other business leader does. And it's gotten him into a lot of trouble in recent years.
His Twitter feed is juvenile, to say the least. He has insulted some important people in really immature ways.
Juvenility? Insulting important people in immature ways? Is she talking about me or Elon?
But when a person with 65 million followers and $300 billion is just having fun, that tends to create ripples in the larger pond.
You are, not to put too fine a point on it, the richest man in the history of the world and arguably the most influential. And yet you tweet freely and playfully and somewhat mischievously.
Yes, that's accurate.
So our feuds with policymakers are poking Jeff Bezos. Is that good for the overall brand?
Yeah, I don't really think about brand optimization, to be frank, as is obvious from my tweets, which are often self-inflicted wounds. Or humor that I find funny, but not necessarily that many other people find funny.
Right. You know, when you say take the red pill, do you worry about sending none too veiled?
I said take both pills.
Take both. Well, that's okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
but do you worry at all about motivating the, political fringe?
Yeah, actually, when I said take the red pill, I didn't realize that was some like politically charged phrase.
Right.
I was referring to the Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you accept reality for what it is.
Right.
But then it turns out it's like also like some like accept right-wing dogma thing or something. I didn't realize that at the time.
You do have the ability to move markets with a tweet. Should any one man have that power?
Well, the markets move themselves all the time, and so, especially Tesla stock has seen some very big changes in value from one day to the next based on nothing, as far as I can tell. So, do statements that I make, are they materially different from random movements of the stock that might happen anyway? I don't think so. It's not like stock drops in half or something like that.
Right.
Elon Musk is someone who pursues his goals relentlessly. And I think that does sometimes make him blind to the potential human toll, the potential human cost that can create for some of the people who get sort of ground up in the gears of the things he's trying to do.
You've made statements downplaying COVID-19. You kept your factories open, running at the height of the pandemic. And
Well, actually, technically, I think there's a misunderstanding there on the factories front.
Tell me about it.
Other car factories in the United States had restarted.
Right.
And we were blocked only because our car factories in the Bay Area and California. So California had actually said manufacturing can restart.
Right.
And then Alameda County decided of their own accord that Tesla could not restart.
reopening the factory in Alameda was arguably a poor management choice. I think he was aware of the risks that his employees were taking. I don't think it was necessarily a fair choice to pressure or invite or ask or instruct employees to come back to work.
Man, this gets me going every single time. So for those that aren't aware, here's what happened in a nutshell. When the pandemic first came, there was a number of essential manufacturing businesses with national orders that they must continue to stay open and must continue to make things because, as Elon Musk pointed out, if you don't make stuff, there's no stuff. This included a lot of manufacturing, essential food services, and many others as well. Despite these national orders, an unelected health official in Alameda County defied the national orders that Tesla should continue to operate and manufacture their products and forced the factory to shut down. Meanwhile, Tesla had recently reopened their factory in Shanghai in the height of the pandemic with all of the systems and processes in place to do so safely. Elon Musk defied the unreasonable orders of the county, reopened the factory, and said that if Tesla employees were comfortable to come back, they could. This wasn't Elon Musk being an evil person, this was Elon Musk looking at the national orders and realizing that the Alameda County had no jurisdiction to shut the factory down. It made no sense. Tesla had safely reopened their Shanghai factory, knew exactly what to do, and could do so very safely. And as Elon Musk pointed out in this Time interview, other US-based automotive manufacturers with plants in the United States were already reopened and manufacturing vehicles again. This, of course, got completely blown out of proportion. Oftentimes, when people are in a state of emotional arousal, very fearful, they suffer from brain damage. And there was a large number of completely brain damaged people sharing their opinions and thoughts on Tesla reopening the factory, painting Elon Musk to be a villain, failing to recognize the national orders that they needed to stay open, failing to understand they'd already opened a factory in China, they knew exactly how to do so safely, and deciding the only possible explanation for this isn't because Tesla has an extremely important mission and that it was unreasonable and unconstitutional to forcibly shut their factory down. Elon Musk did the right thing for the mission and the company, and of course copped an enormous amount of unreasonable criticism as a result. I made a number of videos discussing this at the time, and literally thousands of people lost their fucking minds in the comments. Actually, they'd already lost their minds. They were at the time suffering from fear-induced brain damage. Unsubscribe, you're the worst person ever, people are dying, blah 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 blah. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that a mainstream media outlet is bringing this up again and recasting Elon Musk as a villain when he did nothing wrong.
Are you vaccinated, if I
Yes,
may ask?
yeah. I mean, I'm very pro-vaccination.
Yeah.
I believe the science is unequivocal.
Yeah.
I treat it to that effect. But by the same token, I am against forcing people to be vaccinated. You know, I think this is just not something we should do in America. I think we should encourage people to be vaccinated, strongly try to convince them to be vaccinated,
Right.
but not force them to be vaccinated, or for example, force them to get vaccinated or get fired.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Personally, I'm pro-vax, but I'm anti-fascism and anti-tyranny.
Elon Musk is incredibly influential in the cryptocurrency world. He's constantly tweeting about his opinions about certain cryptocurrencies versus others. He is known as a big proponent of Dogecoin, and someone who has in the past taken Tesla's assets and invested those into Bitcoin, and then sold that Bitcoin at a profit.
Well, I mean, I could really sort of wax on about the nature of money for hours, because I played a significant role in creating PayPal.
Right.
And so my understanding of the money system at a fundamental level of how it actually works, the detailed mechanics of it, is, I think, there are very few people that understand it better than me. Bitcoin is an interesting example, obviously the prime mover on this, but the transaction volume of Bitcoin is low, and the cost per transaction is high. It is, at least at its base level, suitable for maybe an exchange, a store of value. But fundamentally, Bitcoin is not a good substitute for transactional currency.
Right.
And even though it was created as a silly joke, Dogecoin is better suited for transactions.
Why is that?
The total transaction flow that you can do with Dogecoin is substantially more than, like, transactions per day is much higher than, has much higher potential than Bitcoin. It is slightly inflationary, but that inflationary number is a fixed number as opposed to a percentage.
Right.
So that means over time, its percentage inflation actually decreases. And that's actually good because it encourages people to spend and rather than sort of hoard it as a store of value.
I'm going to switch to a personal question a little bit, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
So what happened with Grimes, and do you have a new girlfriend?
Oh, man.
Someone new. I know, here we are with our
Here we
somewhat
go.
different approach.
Grimes and I are, let's say, like, semi-separated, it's just that her work has her just being in different places a lot versus my work. We weren't seeing each other that much. Yeah, we're still good friends, and I do not have a new girlfriend or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this place is basically like a technology monastery,
Technology monastery.
Yeah.
I believe with that.
There's hardly any. I mean, there's some in here, but not many.
Yes.
And it's remote.
Yeah.
And we do technology.
Yes.
So this is the techno monastery.
Hope you guys and girls have enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Elon Musk was deserving of Time's Person of the Year? If not, who would you have picked over Elon Musk? I think this is a great honor for Elon Musk, especially given the context, and that is, most of the mainstream media seems to have something against Elon Musk. Maybe Time are attempting to atone for the sins of 2020, in which the dual winners of Time's Person of the Year seem to be Time magazine's attempt to virtue signal to the woke mob. At that point in time, of course, these two people had done literally nothing, and since then, well, probably worse than nothing if we're being honest. I swear I'm going to get cancelled one day. Don't forget, if you'd like to support the channel, check out the card in the corner or the link in the description to join Patreon. You get access to a ton of exclusive content, my Tesla price targets, and loads more. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.